Welcome back to the Bead Flora book bead along. We are knee deep right now making this summer wildflowers arrangement. We will be making the center for this French beaded echinacea. Fall is almost here, but we can keep summer around for just a bit longer while making this summer cone flower. Hi everyone, my name is Fen Lee, French beaded flower designer here at the Bead Flora studio and author to the book Bead Flora, the revival of French beaded flowers. If you are new here, consider subscribing. The goal of this channel is to help you shorten your learning curve while starting out to make French beaded flowers. Check out the playlist if you are starting from square one. I have beginner kits in my Etsy shop if you want to get started. I also put together a kit for this arrangement if you would like to use the exact beads I'm using. If you would like to use your own materials, check out the description for the full list of supplies. In the lesson today, we'll be making the center using the technique I developed called the continuous split basic. Now I'll be showing you how to make the center, and we'll be using 3 colors. For the main color, we'll use brown, which I have in my bead spinner, and we also have matte gold and the green in the little cups here. So to get started, we'll need 55 inches of cut wire. So I already cut this wire right here, 55 inches of it. I made a knot at one end, and we'll be working off of the cut wire because we're using multiple colors. First, we'll be using the brown. I'm going to string 3 beads on here. The technique we'll be using today is the continuous split basic, and the pattern calls for 4 inches for the top basic wire. So let's measure out 4 inches right here. And now we're going to split the beads up. We're going to have the 1 bead on the top basic wire and the 2 beads on the basic loop. And for the twisted wire, you want about 1/2 inch. And for rows 2 and 3, it'll be all brown beads. String the beads onto here. And we want to make pointed tops and pointed bottoms. And now for row 4, we'll need 11 of the brown and 1 of the gold. So I'm going to put on more brown beads on here. So basically, all I want is to have the top bead to be gold. So it doesn't really matter how many beads you have on here. The 11 beads that I suggest is just a suggestion. As long as you have the top bead as gold. So I'm still going to count it. 5, 10, 11. It is 11 beads. It may be different for you depending on the bead that you're using, or just if you're wrapping just slightly different. I'm going to put a gold bead on there. And then for the 5th row, we'll need 1 brown. I'm just going to string it on first. 1 more matte gold. So I'm stringing for row 5 now. So I'm going to finish wrapping for row 4. Now I have the beads ready on for row 5. 1 brown. 1 gold, and then I'm going to string brown for the rest. If it doesn't work out right away, you can undo it and rewrap, which I'm going to do because it looks a little bit wonky. I'm going to string on the brown, undo it, and then rewrap. The thing with this is if it doesn't look right away, undo it right away and rewrap. So straighten it out. I think just that my top wire was not straight. You want all of these petals to be exactly the same. That looks a lot better. Okay, so now we have 5 rows done, and we are on to row 6. And for row 6, we need 15 of the brown beads, 1 matte gold, and then rest brown. Make sure to straighten out your top wire here. Okay. And now we are on to row 7, and for row 7 we need 4 brown beads. So and I already have 1 right here, so I'm going to add 3 more on. 1 matte gold, and then the rest brown. Okay, now we are on to row 8, and row 8 calls for 19 brown beads, 1 matte gold, 3 more browns, and 2 green. Okay, so we're doing 2 green for the rest of row 8, and row 9 calls for 3 greens for the top. So I just strung it on. Okay, now we need 3 browns, 1 matte gold, and then the rest brown. Next, turn the unit around. Bend the top wire down along the back. Then bring it around to the right hand side. And then we're going to make another unit right next to the first one. And we want the twisted wire here to be the exact length as the first one. So let's measure out the twisted wire here. And it is a little bit more than ½ inch. Yours could be a little bit more or a little bit less, so definitely use a ruler to measure out your twisted wire from this point to this point. So let's twist this here. And another thing you can do is to take the twisted wire and move it up against the twisted wire of the first petal. So that way you can tell that it is the correct length. It's back here. So undo the top wire here, from the top loop, Put a brown bead in here. Redo the knot. So now, follow the same pattern and make another unit right here. Now I have the second unit done, and you notice that the end of the units are right next to each other, and you do want that. You don't want any extra bare space right there. So now we're going to make 2 more on the twisted loop. So undo any twists on the loop if there are any, and take the working wire and maneuver it so that it is right next to this wire right here, right between this unit and this wire. So just take this and wrap it in between the first 2 units. So now it is on the right hand side. Divide the bead so that there is 1 on each side. Take your wire cutters and cut right along the middle here, and then make a knot. So now wrap these 2 wires together to make a new twisted wire, and make sure that it is the same length as these right here. Now I have the 3rd unit done. I'm going to make another twisted wire here and make the last unit. So here I have all 4 units done, and I don't want to cut the tops of these wires here. We want to leave these uncut. So I'm going to undo the loops on all 3 of them. And for this last one, I also want a top wire here. So right here, I'm going to cut right along the bottom, right around here. Unfold it so that we have a top wire here also. And with this wire here, we're just going to wrap it around the base of the unit with some pliers. I'm using some needle nose pliers. And just tuck it in. Now I do want to lace these units. In the original pattern, I did not lace them, and that is fine, but I did realize as I was making this video that it would be a lot easier to assemble if you lace the units. So I'm going to lace all 4 of these here. And here I have all 4 of the units laced. Now I'm going to show you how to make the center. So take the units and bend them in. Make sure to have the bottoms here line up with each other like this. And we want all 4 of them to line up like this. So shape them first. Take the time to shape them in. This is not something that can be rushed. And another tip, what you can do is to stick some fuzz or yarn in here so that it can help it hold its shape. So I have some green fuzz from one of my cushions that we just have lying around. I'm not doing anything with. Okay. And hold on to the bottom here, hold on to the top here, and push down. That helps it form more of a hollow shape.
Now take your pliers and twist the top wires together. Put your thumb on the bottom of here, and then on the top here, and then push simultaneously. Maybe you want to use like something brown to insert in there, like brown yarn or something. I guess the green will work too. All right, so now cut the top. And then very carefully, very carefully, take the little top here and then bend it over. Have it go inside. Tuck it inside gently because you don't want to break the shape. Okay. Push down again.
For the third lesson, we'll be working on the calyx. It's actually a 2-part calyx, and we'll be using the continuous crossover loop and continuous loops. Join the community of other French beaders in the Learn How to Make French Beaded Flowers Facebook group. If you make any of my flowers, I always love seeing them. Send me pictures and I may feature it in a future video. Subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next lesson. Bye!